Hey guys, Dee here, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. So today I am back with another orchid repotting session rescue thing. As you know, that I've probably done a few of these. I'm not sure how many I've done, but I know I've done a few of these. I love getting grocery store orchids and basically reviving them and saving them. So I have two here. So I've got a miniature one and I've got this, don't know if I can even, it's so tall, this kind of like purpley-ish, pinky-ish one. And as you can probably, if I can get it in frame, the flowers are starting to go over and the plant itself is kind of getting like yellow leaves. There's all these like dry roots, and I think it's just time to get it out of here and get it into fresh medium and get rid of all those roots and just basically give it some TLC and get them growing really well again. So same thing with this, it was in a glass jar. I guess the glass jar smashed, so it ended up in this like plastic thing, and I'm pretty sure it's in cocoa peat, so I want to get it out the cocoa peat and then get it into like the bark, which I'm probably going to reuse this bark because it looks pretty good. So I know a lot of people aren't really interested in orchids or don't know how to take care of orchids, or they just have a lot. Sorry, I get distracted so easily when I have other plants around me. I'm like, oh, why is this all brown? What's happening over here? So this new leaf looks like it's not doing so hot on my begonia. But there is a lot of new growth, so that's why I just got a little bit distracted by all this like papery stuff. Also, side note here, I've never had like a cane begonia before. So if you guys have one, how often do you prune it? And like how do you prune it? So I know that you're meant to like cut it down, but like I don't know where or how. So this is, I think, going to be an experimental begonia for me. I think I just broke that leaf. Helpful to you? Helpful? I'm just going to experiment with this one and kind of cut it this spring. And obviously I'm going to take cuttings just in case this ends up like dying. And I'm just going to see how that works because, again, like I said, I don't know how to really prune this properly to make it all nice and bushy. I'm just going to give it a go. Like, I can see previous cuts that have been made. So I might just try and figure something out there. But if you have experience with it, please do let me know because it would be very helpful to me. But yeah, back to the orchid. A lot of these, they get neglected in the shops and it's not very good. So I'm just gonna work at getting these out if I can. Oh my god. What the hell? Okay, why won't this come out of the pot? It's like stuck in here. Hello? Which is normally a good sign because it means there's loads of roots, but holy moly. Okay, yes. Oh. And that is how you can tell that this needs a new medium. So it is in this cocoa peat. Right, so I just need to actually take these sticks off. So I'm just gonna take the sticks off first so I don't end up poking myself. And it's okay, like, I know people get also iffy about this when they're like, oh, you shouldn't repot when there's flowers. Honestly, I've never had a problem with it. The flower life may shorten by like a week or something than it normally would, but I've never had a problem with like the flowers immediately just dying after they repotted. They've always still carried on growing and whatever. So if you're, at the end of the day, if your plant needs it, then you need to do it regardless of if it's in flower or not. End of story. So it's in this like peaty, like small bark and cocoa core in it, but you can see by the colour of it. So I did water it about a week ago, but you can see the colour of this is not good. It's really dark, which means it's holding a lot of moisture, and that's bad because you don't want a lot of moisture around your orchid roots. Now the roots look really good, but as you can see, it's still got its cocoa core plug. And it's got a lot of these like dead aerial roots, so we're going to have to fix that. We've got a little bit of work to do with this, as normal. So I'm just going to take, yeah, its baby seedling leaves came off. And then I had my, yeah, here's my scissor. So I'm just going to work at taking all of these dead roots off because they are not going to help the plant. And they will just rot, and then you'll have to repot sooner than you would normally. So I am just cutting like normal, so it's in every video into the dead. You don't ever want to cut into the live tissue, you always want to cut into the dead part of the roots, just to make sure that you're not creating another open wound. So where's this coming from? Right, and then I'm going to try and get to the middle of this very carefully. So that's dead. Get rid of that. And then we're going to work at getting out the stupid cocoa core plug. I mean, I get it that it's easy for the companies to, you know, just take them out of their seedling, like pots or whatever, and plant them up. But this is so, every time, it's such a pain to get this like sponge rock, to get the cocoa core plug out. And it's like, obviously, this one isn't so bad, but I've come across orchids that like their entire roots in the middle are just dead because of this cocoa core plug, and people just water it like it's a normal orchid, you know, like in bark, and it'll be fine. And it's like, nope, you can't do that, because obviously cocoa core is suffocating, because orchids are epiphytic. So they need air around their roots. And obviously, you know, if they grow in trees, you got to think about that, they grow in trees naturally in the wild, they wouldn't be suffocated by a cocoa core plug. You can faff with this as much as you want. I'm just trying to get as much of the dead that I can see out, because again, like I said, I don't want to have to repot this unless it's something, you know, direly important, if you know what I mean, like it's dying or whatever. So I can see some of these roots, yeah, starting to desiccate. So I'm just gonna cut into all of that. And you're probably like, girl, why have you got so many orchids? You know, I don't know. It's a good question. It is a good question. I have a lot of these ones, so I can't tell if this one, I know I'm talking about a different one, but I have orchids because they're just gorgeous and I love them. But I'm trying to get into more like miniature orchids and more like fragrant orchids. Now this orchid looks like one that I already have that is fragrant, but because it's like cool and the sun's like not coming in here, I can't really tell if this has a fragrance or not, because the leaves have got a bit of speckling and the flowers look exactly the same. Oh yes, okay, I got it now. Yes, this is fragrant. So I love fragrant orchids, especially this scent. I don't know what they've done to it, I don't know what it is, but I love it and I need to have them all in my life. So I have a lot of these fragrant orchids because, oh my god, like in spring or summer when these bloom and that sun comes in and there's warmth in the room, you just walk in and it's just this like, oh, this gorgeous perfume in the air, and it's amazing. I love it. So now that I know that, that's why I have to have this. These big ones, my mum loves these ones. So normally these orchids are for my mum and I just take care of them for her. So, you know, what we do for the people we love. That's, yeah. So she loves all these kinds of like pinky orchids. I'm not sure why, but you know, everyone has their thing that they like, and this is the thing that she likes. So that's what I take care of them for her, as you do. So I am just gonna empty out this pot. I don't think it needs a rinse. I mean, I could, but can I be bothered? No. So I'm just gonna reuse it. Actually, am I gonna reuse it? Because I just need to see for the roots. Can I? Yeah. Well. And then if I go bigger. I'm just trying to think. You know what? We will. We'll stick. We'll stick with this one. We'll stick with it, and then I can always just. Oh shite! Just made a mess. Didn't realise I had a thing of water here, and I just knocked that over. Clean it up afterwards. Just a bit of a disaster in this video. God damn. So yeah, like I said, I can always just quickly put it up into a bigger pot. It's not going to be a big of a deal. So I'm just going to start in this one. Got my normal just orchid bark that you buy at the shop. I'm going to start with a little bit at the bottom. And then we're going to just, see, this is the thing. No, I need a bigger pot. Unfortunately, I do need a bigger pot. So I'm just going to go get one. Okay, so unfortunately I don't, like this is the next size up. I don't have anything that's only slightly bigger. It'll be okay. I've done it before. It's just going to require a lot more bark than I would have expected. But that means then hopefully I won't have to repot this and I won't have to faff with the roots so much either. So I'm just, what is this? No, I have no idea what that was. Okay, quick double check that there's no more dead roots. Okay, then, did I just break one? Nope. Don't know what's going on with me today. Alright, and then I'm just going to give it a very slight wiggle I'm being very careful because these roots are very delicate. And then we're gonna get the sticks and we're gonna just put these back on quickly to support these flowers, and then I can faff with it afterwards to strain up the flowers afterwards. So let's just get that in. And where's the clip? Come on. Alright, there we go. No, okay. This is why, this is like, it's hard to do this one-handed, but we're gonna try. Oh god, okay. Faffing around here, this is like, there we go. Hey, there we go. And then we're just gonna backfill around it. Give it a little jiggle, and then because this is over one side of the pot, I'm just gonna see if there we go. You know what would make this easier? Is I'm just gonna pour it into here. Like that, and then I'm gonna use this to pour it around the rest of the orchid. It's just a little bit easier, and then I can faff with the position of the orchid a little bit more. So yeah, how do you guys feel about orchids? Do you like orchids? Do you have orchids? Do you find them difficult? Because if you do find them difficult, I feel like, I know my friend, she finds them really difficult. I just broke this root. That's fine, you're aerial anyway. But I am just gonna break it a little bit again. They do survive if they break, don't worry. They will callus over. And I just want this to get in the media, but it doesn't want to. Can you stay down there, please? Maybe if I put bark on top of it. Yeah, there we go. Kind of, a little bit. No, still doesn't want to go in there. It'll figure out. There we go, got it. Oh, and I've buried that a little bit too deep now. So I'm just squeezing it, because again, you can have some air pockets, you just don't want too many. So I'm just gonna squeezy, make sure, a little bit, get down there. And I'm not gonna water this because, like I said, I did just water this like a week ago, so I'll give it some time. And then when I've noticed that it's kind of getting a little bit, although I might water it because it does seem a little bit dehydrated, so we'll see. We'll see what's happening here. I might wait a little while anyway to get, yeah, that stupid root wants to just stick out, whatever. Okay, so that's about as high as I'm going to go, a little bit more on this side. So you don't want the crown to be buried, so I actually might pull this up just a little bit. There we go, just like that. So you want to make sure this like crown bit, that's above the layer of your bark. So this bit here, you want it above your layer of your bark, because I don't know how you guys water. If you just pour water through it, that's fine. I actually soak my orchids. And obviously when I soak them up to where the roots kind of start, and I don't want this crown bit to be in the water, so I try and keep that above the line of the bark. I was going to say something, I forgot what it was now. Right, yeah, if you don't know how to take care of plants, I know my friend, she struggles with taking care of them. I think it's just trying to figure out the best place for orchids. They don't like drafts, and they don't like to be moved often, so they want good light, but they don't want cold. They don't want somewhere super cold. It can be a bit tricky to figure out like, oh, where does my plant go? Where can I put it? You know, that'll be happy. But I think once you've done that, you just need to experiment, to be honest. And then with the watering as well, most of the time when you get a new orchid from like the grocery store, wherever you're buying it, I would repot, because that's just my experience, is that they're not really potted in good stuff. Like, you just have to see, if you water your orchid, like what does the medium look like once you've watered it. If it doesn't look great, then repot it. I just buy, like I said, just because that's just what I do, I always repot the orchids after a while. I give like the plant 2 weeks to acclimate to my home, and then I'm like, okay, time for a repot, you know? Because it's just like, it's easier for me. I know what then it's growing in, and I know how to take care of it in my own environment. So yeah, it's just about experimentation with orchids. I know some people find them really difficult, but you know, like a Phalaenopsis is one of the easiest ones to start with, because they are a lot more easygoing to take care of. But it's about finding that sweet spot of where they want to be. So it's kind of like that's the initial, I think, struggle, is finding the sweet spot where they like to be. So they want bright. Hey, this just popped off. Rude. Because this stem is really thick, so let me just switch this clip over that way. And then round. Come on, there we go. I'm actually surprised. This orchid's like pretty healthy otherwise, and these stems are like, they're thick. Like, I haven't seen orchid stems that thick in a long time. And the plant, yeah, the leaf is a bit damaged, but that's okay, it'll be fine. And it is growing currently a new leaf. So I think this will be happy. I just need to find a spot for it because it's not going to go down here because I have too many orchids down here already. But yeah, the initial thing with an orchid is just to find that sweet spot that they like to be in. Once you've done that, then they will just, you know, you'll find it easy to take care of. So you don't water them too often. Again, doing your research about orchids I think helps a lot. There are so many orchid channels out there that can like help you with like care guides and stuff. Yeah, like I said, I think with any plants anyway, it's just about experimentation and figuring out, you know, that's what we're all doing. We're just figuring stuff out with our plants. Like, does this work here? Does this not work here? If it doesn't, we move it. Does this media work? No, change it. You know, it's all a big experimental game. Kind of. Yeah. You know, something doesn't work, we change it. It's just what it is. So I have to be careful because I think there actually might be like glass still in here. So this is this gorgeous little mini phal, which I don't know why. Okay, so my card just died. I have no idea what I was saying. Maybe I have no idea. So yeah, we're gonna, oh yeah, I think I'm saying about the colour of the leaves. I think if I put it in a less bright position, it should be okay. So we're just gonna pull this out and I'm just gonna have a look at the bark. Yeah, there is some glass in here. So I'm gonna be very careful because I think I can reuse this bark because it actually looks pretty healthy. We're gonna get rid of the glass that's in here very carefully. And any other matter. So I'm just very carefully going through this, looking for the glass and any other kind of debris. There's another piece of glass. And otherwise, I think, oh no, there's a little bit of mould because it did get a little bit wet. So I'm just going to move that over. And then yeah, I'm just going to take out any of the pieces that I see are getting mouldy because that is not good. So I'm just going to take some of those out. And the like damp pieces in here. And then the glass, because glass is not organic, we're just gonna move that off to the side. So yeah, like I said, this is a rescue orchid. It got the thing that it was in smashed and it got put into that temporarily. So this is in, I'm pretty sure, cocoa or moss. Oh god, it is so wet in here, not good. So yeah, we gotta, I think, definitely get in here and save this plant. So I can see algae all on the pot. Oh my god, this is like packed in here. And yeah, these fragrant orchids, they are becoming a lot more easily available. Oh, that is gross, I'm not even gonna lie. Look at all of that like algae and disgustingness. Oh, definitely good time to repot this because that is nasty. But yeah, these fragrant orchids are on the market a lot more often nowadays. I feel like fragrant orchids have been very difficult to come by. You usually have to go to like specialist nurseries for that. But now I'm seeing, like, especially these ones, like the specific kind of coloured ones. So these ones, I've seen them a lot more often with like in supermarkets and stuff. Or like garden centres, they have a lot of those. And I love that because scented orchids are one of the like best things I feel like in life. Like how is, sorry, I've just noticed, let me just take the other stick out. I don't even know what I did with the first one. Where did I put the first stick? Oh, I left it in there. Yeah, so they've literally just taken this plant in its cocoa core plug, put it in moss, and then put it in bark. What? Oh my god. Wow. That is, I'm not even gonna lie, that's bad. This is not good practice. But yeah, if you're on the hunt for a fragrant orchid, they are a lot more easier to come by, and like I said, there's nothing like it when you come into a room, especially if you have multiple of them, and you get that gorgeous scent. Oh, love it. So I highly recommend getting it. So I need to get this freaking cocoa core plug out, and I'm gotta be careful because these roots are lovely. and I don't want to destroy them too much, so I'm going to very gently try and untangle them so I can pull up through the middle this cocoa core plug. So where are you? There we go. Okay. Very gently. Here we go. Oh, and I think this orchid is going to be so happy to be dry. And I think this card is also running out of space, and so is my battery. So I'm going to finish doing this, change my battery, and then we'll come back and just basically repot this up. So give me a sec. Okay, so I managed to get the cocoa core plug off, and now I've just got like a damp tissue, and I'm going to try and get as much of this kind of algae, which I'm hoping it's algae, just off of the roots that I can see, because algae is not healthy. It will start to kind of block the pores of the roots, and then they won't be able to absorb any nutrients or water, and we don't want that because we are trying to save this orchid. So I mean, I could just cut off the affected parts, and if it is that bad, I might actually do that. I'm really hoping this isn't like something else. I'm hoping this is just algae. This root doesn't look, yeah, I mean, it's cracked and broken, but I think it'll be alright. So it's more towards the top of the plant that all the algae is at. I'm just going to give it a kind of, as much as the kind of wipe down as I can, and then there's a little seedling leaf in there. We're just going to pull that out because that will just start to rot in the medium. And yeah, that is kind of like what we're left with. So not the best, not terrible. There weren't actually as many dead roots as I was expecting there to be, but you know, that could always change. So yeah, I'm just again double checking with this like disgusting algae stuff. I will not be reusing the same pot, but then to be fair, I'm not sure that I have a pot that is slightly bigger than this, but it's not going to fit in there anyway, so I don't know why so I might just put it into a little bit of a bigger pot, but I won't fill it up all the way to the top, if that makes sense. So it will sit in here, but it won't be filled up all the way with bark because that's going to be too much bark. So reusing the old pot that the other orchid came in. So yeah, I'm hoping that this algae will be okay and it will start to die. Again, if it does, that might be a problem in the media, but this is the medium that is like, it's not mine, so I can always just change it and it'll be fine. So we're just going to start with a layer in the bottom. Hopefully that's a bit too much. Hopefully not any glass in here and I don't cut my finger. There we go. Alright, and then I'm just going to place this very am I? I'm just thinking, do I have any small? I don't think I do. Is that smaller than this one? Doesn't look smaller. Sorry, I'm just looking at all, I have so many pots everywhere. I'm just looking to see if I have any smaller ones, but I don't think I do. So yeah, again, you just backfill with your bark. Trying to not get it in the leaf joint. Oh, god damn it. Just blow very hard if you do. And then I'm going to get back the sticks that it came with, just to stabilise it, because obviously it's not rooted in, it's just been freshly potted. So let's just, and I did have a clip for this, but I don't know what I did with it. So we'll just leave it like that, I think I'll be alright. So I just want to get most of these roots covered, and I think, like I said, this orchid's going to have an adjustment because it has been in such a wet medium for such a long time that it's going to take an adjustment. It might sulk a little bit to being in bark, but I think it's just going to be so much happier to be in a dry medium and not drowning and suffocating in this stuff and this disgusting moss. So yeah, that's pretty much this done. I just need to get a clip to kind of stick this up. If these flowers go, they go. As long as the orchid survives, there will be flowers again. There's no problem with it. I know people normally just, you know, they're like, oh, it's not blooming anymore, I'm going to chuck you in the bin. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Like, they will bloom again. You just need to take care of them. And it's not as complicated as people can make it out to be to take care of them. This is done, and I think it's going to go in this giant pot, even though it looks absolutely ridiculous because it's miniature, but that's the only pot I have on hand at the moment until I figure maybe a different pot. But I feel like it fits perfectly, so I just need to find a place for this now, and I will keep you guys updated. So yes, my obsession with orchids is just getting worse and worse. You'll probably see a lot more orchid videos coming out. I think the next one that I'm going to do is, even though I already showed you in my plant tour, I don't know, I might do a separate video of like all the, like, why can't I speak right now? all of the blooms that are going to be blooming when they bloom, which is going to be very soon. And yeah, that is it for this video. So please take care of your orchids. It's not difficult. Do your research. There are so many helpful videos and like resources online for that, and they are gorgeous and like lovely. Like, oh, I wish you guys could smell this orchid, because it is like, ah, I love it. I love it. If I could wear this as a perfume, I totally would. Anyway, have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you guys soon with another one. Bye!